There's a weight on your shoulders that no massage can dissolve, because it doesn't come from your muscles. It comes from sadness that moved into your shoulder blades when it couldn't find a way out through your chest. Your back has been storing heavy emotions in the form of upper body tension, slowly changing the way you breathe, hold yourself, and move through the day. What you're about to learn is a 90-second movement that releases the shoulder blades and opens a pathway for that weight to literally drain out through your back. The shoulder blade works as a surface for vibrational discharge, and there's a very specific reason why this area never fully relaxes. Closing this video now means continuing to chase relief in muscles that are still doing a protective job, triggered by your nervous system, keeping the same tension loop that always returns just a few hours after any attempt to relax. Get ready to discover exactly where sadness becomes dense in your body, and how to teach your back to let go of what it's been holding on to for far too long. When sadness isn't processed consciously, it doesn't disappear. It moves into the shoulder blades, organizing itself as a kind of backline defense that your nervous system keeps running even after the original threat has passed. This emotional buildup in your back is not just poor posture or regular muscle tension. It's a precise autonomic mechanism that turns heavy emotions into fascial stiffness and postural withdrawal. Your body is literally storing in the shoulder blades what your mind couldn't handle. In Hermetic traditions, the shoulder blade was seen as a sleeping wing of the chest temple, a structure meant to allow the heart field to expand backward, creating a second chamber for emotional resonance. When these wings stay glued to the ribs, the heart gets compressed from the front and blocked from behind, cutting off access to the deeper space where true transformation happens. What polyvagal theory shows us is that this pattern combines dorsal vagal collapse with what seems like normal functioning. On the outside, you keep going, but inside, your back is storing a growing stockpile of unfelt emotion. The shoulder girdle becomes a point where muscles, fascia, and breath come together to protect the heart from behind, forming an invisible armor that alters your muscle tone, breathing range, and the very way you inhabit your own body. Neuroscience has found that fascia works like memory tissue, storing traumatic experiences inside your musculoskeletal system. The area around the shoulder blades becomes a vibrational storage space because multiple fascial chains meet there, linking the neck, chest, and arms. So, when a heavy emotion needs to be stored somewhere, your body chooses this anatomical crossroads as the place to install it. What you feel as a constant weight on your shoulders is, quite literally, emotional memory condensed into tissue. This pattern often repeats silent family stories of grief and early responsibility, passed down not only through genes, but through the body itself. You might be carrying in your shoulder blades the pain your parents or grandparents never cried out, written into your body as an invisible biological loyalty. Behavioral epigenetics shows that postural patterns and nervous system states can be transmitted across generations, meaning you may be carrying, quite literally, on your shoulders, the weight of what came before you. Someone discovered this in the most visceral way, and what happened to this person will show you exactly how this mechanism works in real life. Richard was 53 years old and spent his days among cement shelves, steel rods, and bags of mortar at the building supply store where he had worked for nearly 2 decades. His routine was familiar, but something had changed over the past few years. His shoulders felt like they were carrying a weight that wasn't in the materials he lifted, but deep inside him. Every customer he helped, every order he took, every end of shift brought the same deep exhaustion, one that no amount of rest seemed to ease. The weight had settled in so gradually that Richard couldn't remember exactly when it started. He just knew that it had become part of how he lived inside his own body. His shoulders stayed slightly raised even when he tried to relax them. His shoulder blades felt stuck to his ribs, and his breath never fully reached the base of his lungs. Even worse was the diffuse feeling that he was carrying something old, a sadness with no name and no clear origin, but one that felt physically heavy in his back, as if it had taken on a solid form there. He tried monthly massages for almost a year. They brought a few hours of relief, but by the next day, the tension would return to exactly the same spot. Morning stretches from online videos didn't change the pattern. They only stretched muscles that would tense up. Again, the moment he returned to his usual posture. A physical therapist worked on the area for months, but the stiffness remained because something deeper was still keeping that defense mechanism active. It was during an unexpected conversation with an old physical education teacher who happened to stop by the store to buy materials for a home renovation that Richard heard for the very first time about the shoulder blades as a surface for emotional release. The man noticed Richard's posture and asked if he was carrying something heavy on his back besides his workload. When Richard admitted to a constant feeling of weight, the teacher mentioned a somatic technique he had learned years ago, a simple movement to release the shoulder blades that allowed the body to let go of heavy emotions through the back. That same night, alone in his room before going to bed, Richard placed his hands on the inner edges of his shoulder blades and began to apply gentle pressure outward, just as the teacher had described. For the first few seconds, he only felt the usual stiffness. But when he took a deep breath, trying to expand the back of his ribs, something gave way. A light, almost electric burn began to rise through his back, followed by a sudden urge to sigh that he couldn't control. What Richard was about to discover in that moment is exactly what you are about to experience in your own body. The movement that will unlock this region starts by locating the inner edges of your shoulder blades, those bony surfaces close to your spine in the mid to upper back. Reach your hands behind your body and try to touch those inner borders with your fingertips. You'll feel a firm edge where the bone of the shoulder blade meets the line of your spine. If you can't reach it directly, use a wall or the back of a chair to create pressure in that area. What matters is finding the point where the shoulder blade anchors into the ribs. Now apply gentle but sustained pressure to that inner edge, guiding the force outward, as if you were trying to push the shoulder blade laterally away from the spine. Do not force it. Do not try to pull anything out of place. This gesture is an invitation, not a demand. While maintaining that pressure, breathe deeply, trying to expand the back of your rib cage, as if you were pushing your back against your own hand, or against the surface touching your spine. The breath doesn't go to your chest, it moves to your back, filling the space between the shoulder blades and the spine. You may start to feel a light burning sensation in that area, or a sudden involuntary urge to sigh. There might be a gentle warmth moving down your back, or small tremors in your shoulders. All of these are signs that dense emotions are literally changing form, shifting from something solid and compressed into something more fluid that can finally flow. If you feel the urge to cry, let it happen. If all that comes is a sigh, allow it to come out freely. Keep going for 30 seconds, holding the pressure and breathing into your back. Then release. Let your arms rest and notice what has changed. You'll likely feel that your shoulders have dropped slightly. Your breath may now reach parts of your back that used to feel out of reach. And you might feel more internal space, as if something that was compressed has finally loosened. Repeat the cycle 2 more times. Press into the inner edge of the shoulder blades, breathe into the back, hold for 30 seconds, and release. Some people feel the release more strongly in the upper part of the shoulder blades, near the top of the shoulders. Others notice the movement happening lower, closer to the middle of the back. Both experiences are valid because sadness settles in different ways in different bodies. What matters is that you are creating a pathway, teaching your nervous system that there is a safe route to release what was stuck. If the stiffness is very intense and the shoulder blade doesn't seem to move, reduce the pressure and extend the time. Instead of 30 seconds, hold for a full minute, always with active breathing expanding into the back. Fascia needs time to recognize that it's safe to soften. It's not force that brings release, it's sustained presence. You are speaking to deep layers of the body that haven't received conscious attention in years. Before we move on to the second layer of this practice, there's something you need to know about what happened to Richard after that first night. When Richard did the movement for the first time and felt that sudden burning sensation rising through his back, he didn't immediately understand what was happening, but he kept going. He repeated the gesture 3 times that night, and the next morning, when he woke up, he realized he had been able to sleep on his back for the first time in months. His shoulders weren't raised as they usually were, and the heaviness that had followed him from the moment he opened his eyes had noticeably eased. In the weeks that followed, he continued the practice for 90 seconds every night before going to bed. The transformation was concrete and measurable. The irritability that had turned every work interaction into an effort started to fade. His breathing became more open throughout the day without him having to force it. And for the first time in years, he felt genuine energy to make decisions he had been postponing. The diffuse sadness that had weighed on his back didn't disappear completely, but it was no longer stuck and compressed. It began to flow, quite literally, through deep sighs and waves of warmth moving down his spine each time he did the movement. What Richard discovered, and what you are beginning to sense now in your own body, is that the shoulder blade is not just a piece of bone, it is a portal for emotional release. The weight you've been carrying for so long may finally have a way out. Now, you're going to add a second layer to this movement. With your hands once again on the inner edges of your shoulder blades, or with your back supported against a wall, apply the same lateral pressure. But this time, add a subtle rotation. Imagine your shoulder blades as wings that are beginning to peel away from your ribs, gently sliding outward and downward at the same time. The movement is minimal, almost imperceptible, but your nervous system registers this change in angle as a sign that something new is being allowed. As you maintain this subtle rotation, breathe deeply into the back of your rib cage, trying to expand not just the ribs themselves, but the space between your shoulder blades and your heart. Now your breath can reach areas that were once blocked by fascial stiffness. You may feel an internal expansion, as if the back of your heart is finally gaining room to beat without compression. This combination of pressure, rotation, and directed breath speaks directly to the deep connective tissue. The fascia begins to soften from the inside out, because your nervous system recognizes that a safe route for release is open. That letting go of this backline defense doesn't mean unprotected vulnerability, but intelligent reorganization. Your body understands that it can release what it has been holding without falling apart. Keep this integrated practice going for a full 90 seconds. Then release. Let your arms drop naturally, and notice what's changed. Your shoulders have likely dropped even more. Your breath now reaches the base of your back ribs, and there's a new lightness in your back, one that didn't exist when you started this video. The central cycle of the practice is now complete. What comes next is to seal this reorganization so it becomes a permanent part of how you live in your own body. The physical marker that proves this reorganization is happening. Right now, in your body, your breath now reaches all the way down to your lower back without any conscious effort. Your shoulders naturally rest lower than they did when you started this video. And there's a new sense of internal space in your back that wasn't there before. That space is not emptiness, it's availability. Your back is no longer a compressed storage unit. It has become a living channel for energy that can move freely again. To anchor this new state, bring your fingertips once more to the inner edges of your shoulder blades, or rest your back gently against a wall or the back of a chair if you can't reach them directly. But this time, simply touch the area lightly. No pressure. Breathe deeply into that region for 30 seconds, feeling the air brushing through the back of your rib cage. And as you do, repeat silently to yourself, "My back is a passage, not a storage unit." This signal gesture can be done quietly at any moment during your day, while sitting at work, before going to bed, or during a break in traffic, whenever you want to reconnect with the lightness you've just activated. When you notice your shoulders beginning to rise again, or the weight of sadness returning over the next few weeks, do 3 full cycles of the movement you've learned here. Press the inner edges of the shoulder blades outward. Breathe deeply into your back for 30 seconds with each cycle, and repeat silently, "Sadness can flow through my back." This return protocol turns the technique into a portable tool you carry with you, not just as a memory from this video, but as an active somatic resource available to you anytime the old pattern tries to return. The seal is complete. What you experienced here in the past few minutes wasn't just temporary relief from muscle tension. It was a reorganization of how your body processes emotions that, until now, had nowhere to go. You now carry in your body a kind of understanding that goes beyond physical relief. Your shoulders are no longer just a place of pain, they've become portals of release. Your shoulder blades are no longer rigid plates, but living structures that can move again like wings. When your back regains the ability to release heavy emotions, your practical life changes in tangible ways. Hard conversations stop draining your energy for days. Decisions you had been postponing finally find their moment. Chronic irritability gives way to real presence. The sadness that once stayed compressed in your back now has a way out, and you begin to move through the day with less weight and more internal availability for what truly matters. What you've experienced here is just the first doorway into a much wider territory. The body stores layers of emotional memory in dozens of strategic points, and each one can be accessed through precise somatic awareness. There are other shoulder blades still asleep in your nervous system, other knots waiting to be released, other defenses that can be dissolved gently once you learn where to touch and how to speak the language of the tissue. The philosopher Gaston Bachelard once wrote, "The body is a house of echoes where the past never stops resonating." Your back holds not only what hurt, but also the wisdom of how to release it. And that wisdom is written into your very anatomy, just waiting for you to learn your body's language, so you can access it. This reorganization of the back is also a reorganization of how you open yourself to receive what is greater than you. When the shoulder blades move freely, the backfield of the heart can finally expand, and what once felt like a spiritual block is revealed to be a somatic block with a practical solution. The source does not need external altars when the body becomes a livable temple once again. If this content resonated with you, leave a like, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications. Your interaction is essential for the algorithm to carry this knowledge to others who are carrying weight on their shoulders without knowing that there is a way out. Share this video with someone you know who lives with sadness compressed in their back. consider becoming a member of the channel. Your support helps fund the creation of somatic practices with this level of depth and allows us to reach more seekers who need this kind of embodied knowledge. Write in the comments, "I released my shoulder blades and felt heavy emotions flow through my back." With this statement, you anchor in the outer world the transformation that just took place in your tissue, creating a testimony that strengthens the practice neurologically and inspires others who are still carrying the weight. Click the video appearing on your screen now to continue this journey of somatic release and discover other areas where your inner power may be held back. Each technique reveals a different portal in your nervous system. The back you learned to release today is not just an anatomical structure. It is a living archive where decades of sadness found shelter because there was nowhere else to go. And now that there is a passage, what was stuck can finally begin to flow, restoring to your body the lightness that was always yours by right.